Hello, welcome to Literally Victorian. This time around, I will be looking at post-mortem photography. I hope you enjoy the episode. See you soon. Bye. Hello and welcome back to Literally Victorian. My name is Matthew and I'm glad to be with you once again. Now, to understand post-mortem photography, we first need to remember something important. Photography itself was still a relatively new invention. Having a photograph taken was expensive, and many ordinary families never had the opportunity to sit for a portrait. For some people, the only photograph ever taken of them was after they had died. Today, that feels unimaginable. But for Victorian families, it sometimes represented their final opportunity to preserve the face of someone they loved. Infant and child mortality remained tragically common throughout much of the Victorian period. Many parents lost children long before adulthood. In these circumstances, a photograph became something deeply personal, not for spectacle or entertainment, but remembrance. Families often dressed their loved one carefully with some flowers arranged nearby, and favourite possessions sometimes appeared within the photograph. The intention was rarely to shock. It was simply to remember. One of the biggest myths surrounding Victorian post-mortem photography is that photographers always tried to make the deceased appear alive. In this reality, this happened far less often than modern internet articles suggest. Most surviving photographs show the individual peacefully at rest, eyes closed, hands folded. The atmosphere resembles sleep more than performance. There were exceptions. Some photographers experimented with posing or supporting the body. But these images were relatively uncommon. Many sensational stories have exaggerated how widespread these practices really were. Death occupied a very different place in Victorian life. Most people died at home. Family members prepared the body themselves. Children often witnessed death within the household. Mourning rituals became an accepted part of daily life. Black clothing, memorial jewellery, hair keepsakes, letters and portraits. Post-mortem photography became another expression of remembrance. Not because Victorians were obsessed with death, but because they understood its presence more intimately than many of us do today. The photographer approached these sessions with great care. Families often invited them into the home shortly after death, as time was limited. Early photographic processes required patience and skill. These were not just some casual snapshots. They were carefully prepared portraits intended to preserve a final memory. As photography became cheaper and more accessible, families increasingly had photographs taken during life. There was less need for a final portrait after death. At the same time, attitudes towards death gradually changed. Hospitals became more common. Funeral customs evolved. Death slowly moved away from the centre of family life. As a result, post-mortem photography became less common. It is easy to look at Victorian post-mortem photographs and see only sadness. But perhaps they reveal something else. Love. Parents trying to hold on to the memory of a child. Husbands remembering wives. Families preserving one final connection. They remind us that behind every photograph was not simply a Victorian custom. There was a family experiencing grief. Much as families still do today, of course. Victorian post-mortem photography continues to fascinate because it feels unfamiliar. Yet beneath that unfamiliarity lies something deeply human, the desire to remember someone we have lost. Yes, technology has changed, customs have changed, but grief has not. Perhaps that is why these photographs still move us today. Not because they're strange, but because they remind us how deeply people have always loved those they leave behind. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It's free to do so. Until next time, take care. Bye for now.